start again. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls and Portland Trail Blazers game reaction. The Chicago Bulls, again, after a poor performance against the San Antonio Spurs on the defensive end, look for some retribution and retaliation against the Portland Trail Blazers as we travel back to the United Center. We're back at home, ladies and gentlemen, and we entered the United Center and we walked away with a massive win under our belt, and it's a great win to have, and we'll be talking all about it in this video. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game. Who was your player of the game? Your overall thoughts and opinions on the Chicago Bulls performance today. Everything that you've taken note of, feel free to let me know in the comments below. We won this game 130 to 116. Of course, our defense was still not at its best today, and we still have a lot of work to do, especially because we were versing a Portland Trail Blazers team that did end up having a good run and a good stretch from the three-point line, and they don't have their best players out there, but we still allowed a lot of their guys to get good open shots, and they made a lot of shots as well, including the tough ones as well. Some shots were just really played well on defense, and then they just simply made them. Of course, when you have players like CJ and McCollum that does that on a nightly basis, nothing more you expect from him. Obviously, Norman Powell played a great game. Nurkic played a great game. All the way through, Portland had a great game, in my opinion, and it showed in their score with 116. And we beat this team, and we're supposed to beat this team. This team is not, obviously, at their best and fully healthiest. They don't have their best player. They don't have a lot of key pieces around them. And we have to do what we're supposed to do. We walk into the United Center. We beat the Portland Trail Blazers. It's the only thing that's expected. And any other result in this game would have been a terrible loss for the Chicago Bulls. I'm very thankful that we walked away with the win, and I'm very thankful that our offense shined through today, ladies and gentlemen, because our defense still needs work, but our offense was close to perfect, close as perfect as it can get in this game against the Portland Trail Blazers. You did see some small glimpses in the game where you thought maybe Portland were going to make that run, maybe Portland were going to come back. I wasn't necessarily too worried, in no disrespect to Portland here. I wasn't really that worried compared to other games like, again, the San Antonio Spurs and the Raptors games that we versed in the last few games. I was worried about that comeback because OKC obviously leads the league in comeback wins, and Toronto have a very lengthy, great defensive team when they put all those defensive-minded players out there. So I was worried about those ones. With Portland, they are one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA, and they're one of the worst teams on the road this season. So it does make a lot of sense that they weren't going to make that massive run that we all probably expected them to make. And the Bulls walked away with a really strong victory here, and we retaliated in the way that we should. We dropped a lot of points, and the ball was moving at a very good level. Again, this is the first game where we saw two players get 10 assists in the game. We had a career, I'm not sure if it was a career high in assists, but we've tied our season wins with last season with 31. We have 31 wins now on the season, and we're still in January. So it's a great game for the Chicago Bulls, and there's not really too much else to say on the situation. When we drop 130 and we win a game, it does feel good. It feels great to see, and it feels like things are slowly getting back into rhythm with the team. So I'm very happy with this performance. And with that being said, let's just walk straight into the individual performances, starting off with Demar DeRozan, who had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals. Demar DeRozan, I like to call this game from him the perfect point forward performance for him. At the end of the day, we don't always need to see Demar DeRozan drop 10 assists every single night. Some nights it's not needed, and some nights he simply won't be able to get those assist numbers. The three-point shooting worked very well today. So Demar DeRozan, obviously the way that they were playing their defensive coverage was to block all the driving lanes, try to crowd the paint as much as possible. It left open shooters out there, and our shooters were making shots today. So DeMar DeRozan read the game very well, read every single possession very well, and got his guys open. And he was looking to get his guys open as well. It wasn't always, let me try to get my shot up first, and if that doesn't work, I will pass the ball. He was actively looking. He was a pass-first player in my eyes today. Only took 13 shots on the game. Obviously, he made 9 of them, 9 from 13. He made 1 3-pointer. He's really looking good from the three-point line. Probably his best season from the three-point line overall. He's had a really good game today. He's in my contention for player of the game. Perfect point forward performance, and that's what we need from Demar DeRozan sometimes. You can hurt teams in many, many ways, and we'll be getting to another player that did the same thing in this game, but you don't always have to score 30 points to make an impact. DeMar DeRozan made a huge impact without scoring as much as we usually come to expect from him. Ayo Dosunmu, ladies and gentlemen, another player that did a very similar thing in this game. 7 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists, and 2 steals. He got a career high in assist numbers today, and it feels like we're saying that a lot with Ayo. He's got career high in points, he got his first double-double recently, and now he's got his career high in assists. It feels like every single game there's an expectation, or there is a thing that we can see from Ayo that we didn't see previously. I wouldn't be surprised if soon he will get his career high in rebounds, career high in steals. Maybe he'll get his career high in blocks. The reality is the sky's the limit for Ayo Dosunmu, and in many ways he hurts other teams, and that is exactly what we see today. He did score well in terms of efficiency. He wasn't really looking for a shot as much today compared to previous performances. And why would he when he's having such success when it comes to ball movement and finding open players? Very, very good passes today. Some amazing bounce passes, no-look passes, a really beautiful pass in the fourth quarter to Kobe White for an easy layup. These are the things that Ayo, we can see from him. Maybe not on a regular basis. I don't expect 11 assists from him on a regular basis, but that passing and that ball movement is something I definitely can see from Ayo on a regular basis. Of course, there'll be the next game. He might be looking for his shot a little bit more, and that's the thing. He will hurt teams in many different ways, and he can hurt teams in many different ways. If he wants to score, he can score. It seems like it's very easy for him to find his shot when he really wants it. Playmaking, he seems to have that on lockdown as well. He's really turning into a great point guard, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very happy to have him here. Very happy that he's starting, and when players do come back and he moves back to the bench, the ability to be able to play make and learn from these moments and apply that to our bench is going to be fantastic for this team. I really can't wait to see it. Zach LaVine had 20 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. For the longest time, he was shooting about 60% from the field, and then the second half happened and he just fell to the wayside when it comes to his efficiency. A lot of the time, he was making his shots when they were not forced. Corner threes, plays made for him. When he takes the reins himself and he looks for his own shot, at least at this point in time, it's not falling for Zach LaVine. When he's trying to take those fadeaway threes or those fadeaway mid-range jump shots, those are the shots that he's known for at the end of the day. That mid-range fadeaway is his shot, and I expect him to make it more often than not. In this instance, in this stretch of games, his shot is not falling as well as we would like to see. Obviously, he came back from an injury, a leg injury that maybe is still healing, or I don't really know the situation on his knee injury, or maybe it's just a poor stretch of games for him, but we need to see that pick up, especially when we have next week really tough games ahead of us. We need to see efficient Zach LaVine return for the Chicago Bulls, and when we see that, we will see a much dangerous team on the offensive end, and he'll probably keep him more engaged defensively. I thought this team defensively was a bit off, mainly on the three-point line in the first half. I thought our second half was much better, but the reality is when we play offense the way that we do, our defense is going to be much more engaged. There's both sides of the ball, ladies and gentlemen. When one side plays well, more often than not, the other side will follow suit when you're feeling that confidence. And I think we need to see Zach LaVine maintain and grab that confidence again to be able to become a little bit more efficient in the game. Vucevic, ladies and gentlemen, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 11 from 15 from the field, 1 from 2 from the three-point line. Look, I'm not going to lie. The last few performances from Nikola Vucevic, in my opinion, has been fantastic in my eyes. I like when he's going into the post. I like when he's doing pick and rolls. I like when he's taking mid-ranges. We don't need to see Vucevic take 6 threes in the game for us to be very impactful in the game. Vucevic does not need to make threes left, right, and center. Yes, we are a very poor three-point shooting team at the moment. Obviously, this game is not a good representation of that. We made some pretty good threes today. But Vucevic doesn't need to be the guy to be able to take open threes every single time it's available to him. I like when he's in the post, and he's versing a very good center, a very strong center today as well, and he dropped 24 points and 14 rebounds on that center. It's a great sight to see, but I'm still not a believer at the moment in Vucevic. I want to see this continue until the All-Star break. I want to see Vucevic continue to pound that paint and make me a believer, or make Bulls fans a believer, because we do know there's bad stretches coming for Vucevic. At least, well, I don't know that, but there could be bad stretches coming for Vucevic. And that's something I don't want to see. And he's been playing so well that I don't want to see that drop. Of course, there's going to be bad games here and there. No one's going to have a great game. It's about not lowering that expectation of what we see with Vucevic now. He's made some great play in the paint in these last 2 weeks of basketball, and he has to keep that up to make a lot of Bulls fans believers that he can be the center that we want him to be. Javonte Green, don't expect this a lot, ladies and gentlemen. 16 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. He was always in the right place at the right time, it feels like. He did actually leave the game a little bit early with an elbow to the rib cage, and that obviously hurt him a lot, so I hope it's nothing serious in that regard. Again, I don't want any more injuries, and I feel like every time I say that, the next video will be talking about an injury. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. But in terms of his on-court play, 16 points is truly amazing for someone that was the 5th option on the team pretty much. Again, he got those really nice transition plays, the really nice dunks. He made some threes as well, 2 from 5 from the three-point line. Javonte Green, when he's scoring, is an added bonus to this team because you don't expect it a lot. You expect him to play hard defense. You expect him to bring energy. You expect him to maybe crash the glass a little bit. You don't expect him to score the way that he scored today. So that's really positive in my eyes. And when we do see Javonte score like that, when he is going like that, when he only misses 3 shots on the game, that's a really important stretch for the Chicago Bulls, and it makes me very happy that he was able to have a game like that. I don't expect that in the next time out, but again, as I said, added bonus. Moving into Coby White, ladies and gentlemen, off of the bench, had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 from 12 from the field, 3 from 7 from the three-point line. He did take a lot of shots, to be fair, and the first couple of shots in the first half I thought were really questionable. He did have a really nice stretch as well in the first half, I believe, where he made a lot of threes and he got to the paint as well. And he made really good decisions with 6 assists. I would like to see the efficiency boosted up slightly because he is coming off of the bench, and we do need to see a little bit more of an efficient Coby White in future games. Maybe if we verse a better opponent, that efficiency will cost us. But the reality is he did have a great game in my eyes. Defensively, he looked good as well, in my opinion. Not really too much else to say about Coby White. I thought it was a good game from him, but we could see better from that. Of course, his 6 assists is always an added bonus as well. But efficiency-wise, we can see better from Coby White. Let's see if we will be able to do that in the next time out. Troy Brown Jr., 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. I don't have too much to say about Troy Brown Jr. He made a nice 3 in the corner, and he played some good defense, some hustle plays. That's really about it with Troy Brown Jr. That's what we come to expect from him at the end of the day. Matt Thomas, 9 points and 2 rebounds. Strong play in the late third and really strong play in the fourth quarter. That's what Matt Thomas does. He brings instant offense to the team. They were not great defensively. They always jumped on the pump fake, and Matt Thomas made them pay for that. He's a great offensive shooter. If you give him the space, he will make you pay at the end of the day. You have to respect his 3-point shot, and they clearly respected it too much because they jumped into every single pump fake that he could give. And that's what he could do at the end of the day to some opponents. That if you don't respect him enough, or if you respect him too much, he can still make you pay. Tony Bradley had 10 points and 6 rebounds with 3 steals in this game. An amazing game from Tony Bradley, but very similar to a situation like Vucevic. I don't believe we can see this consistently out of Tony Bradley, and he has to change my mind if we're going to see more of him on this team. Billy Donovan made a change in our rotation. Tyler Cook got no minutes. Tony Bradley got 15, 16 minutes in this game. There's clearly, obviously, an ongoing problem with that center position at the moment. It seems like we can't trust either of them full time to play that role. So he made an adjustment. He went bigger in this game, and I thought that was the right decision because they do have bigger centers on their team, especially Nurkic, that if you're going to put Tony Bradley in, it won't hurt in terms of compared to Tyler Cook. They were always going to go and bounce him in the post at the end of the day. They use Nurkic in the post. We obviously adjusted to that very nicely, but even with Tony Bradley, he made a big impact on the boards because he was the tallest player on the team when he was out there. He made the biggest impact on the boards. He made the biggest impact in the paint. He shot 71% from the field. If we can see this consistently from Tony Bradley, he'll play more. But the question is, do you really believe he can do that consistently? I guess that's up to your interpretation. Moving into the must improve, again, we scored 130 points. I don't feel the need to give a must improve when we win a game like this. Regardless of the fact, I think our defense does need work. I don't want to escape this game with all positives and no negatives. There was a negative, and I still think our defense is giving up too many three-point shots, and our defense is giving up too many points for us to really be going on a consistent run. All of our runs, our winning streak has to start on the defensive end. If we continue to be lackadaisical on that side of the ball, again, it was a much improved performance from the San Antonio Spurs game, don't get me wrong. But if we're going to keep on seeing 116 points, 130 points, then we're not going to go on a consistent run. We're going to win the game here and there. We might win more games than we lose. But in terms of having a winning streak, that starts on the defensive end. You need your defense intact for us to go on a run. And that's something that we will really need to have, especially this week, considering the tough schedule that we have next week. It's not going to be easy next week. A lot of fun, entertaining games, but very difficult games for the Chicago Bulls. So no must improve for me. My player of the game is Demar DeRozan, the perfect point forward performance. 23 and 10 on the night. Unbelievably strong in my opinion. And he hurt teams in different ways. And he shows an MVP caliber player. Kevin Durant can hurt players in many, many ways. Players like Jokic can hurt teams in many ways. That's what good players do. When their shot's not falling, they find other ways to impact the game. Demar's shot was falling, and yet he still found more ways to impact the game. He had his name written all over this game, and that is why he's my player of the game. The Chicago Bulls record is 31 and 18. I believe we're half a game away from Miami Heat because they did lose to the Toronto Raptors recently. So we're back where we started in that regard. We're still second in the Eastern Conference, I believe. We're just going to keep on fighting, ladies and gentlemen. Focus on our own. We need to go on a really tough, really good run for us to continue to keep on battling with some of the other teams. Again, Philly's right on our tail and we verse them very soon. Cleveland are still having a great season and they're going to be on our tail. Bucks and Nets. Nets have had a big downfall recently, but the Milwaukee Bucks are still going to be there as well. It's not an easy Eastern Conference race to win. Miami's in our spot right now. We have to keep on fighting to try and secure that top seed in the Eastern Conference. And we do have a really favorable opponent in our next game against the Orlando Magic. We have to have an element of revenge in this game. They cannot outwork us, and we have to keep on performing if we're going to keep on winning these games. Defense has to come first, and our offense will follow suit. If we get outplayed by the Orlando Magic and they outwork us as well, they will win this game, and we've seen it before with Orlando. No easy games, ladies and gentlemen. They've beaten us before. They cannot beat us again. And if they do, that's a really poor representation from the Bulls, and that's not the Bulls team that we should be celebrating after a win like this. It has to come down to that next game. Let's continue winning, and let's try and get that win streak to 2. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.